Donald Trump's wealth isn't just about towers in New York and golf courses in Scotland. It's about private jets lined with gold, penthouses dripping with marble, and a hidden real estate empire so secretive that even seasoned investigators can't fully pin it down. For decades, Trump has carefully mixed real fortune with showmanship, creating a lifestyle that looks untouchable on the surface. But underneath lies controversy, exaggeration, and mystery. Today, we're breaking open the vault on his private jets, his gold-plated mansions, and the real estate deals he doesn't want anyone to know about. Sitting high above Manhattan in Trump Tower is an apartment designed to scream wealth. The penthouse is modeled after the Palace of Versailles, gold leaf on the walls, diamond accents on the ceilings, and marble imported straight from Italy.
Real estate, you know what they say, it's all about location, location, location.
Well, in tonight's Living Large, we're going to an apartment for sale high above Columbus Circle. CBS 2's Emily Smith takes us on the tour.
When you live at 1 Central Park West, you are in a tower of luxury.
Hi, I'm Emily.
Hi, Emily. Howard Margolis.
Walk in the door and find a foyer that expands 90 feet east to west.
There's a crystal chandelier in almost every room, and even the doors are plated with 24-karat gold. Trump once bragged that the place was worth $100 million, but Forbes and real estate insiders quickly called him out, suggesting it was actually worth less than a third of that.
Sunrise and sunset.
Sunrise, sunset. Sounds like a Fiddler on the Roof movie.
There's rich marble flooring, black lacquer, and gold leaf. It's the 47th floor with 6,500 square feet of luxury living space.
When this was bought and got renovated, they did a $10 million renovation. This wooden floor was brought in from a French chateau.
The room sits on the corner of Central Park West and 59th Street.
Of course, like this when you're over Central Park, you've got an ever-changing view because the park changes with seasons.
Do I see gold on the ceiling?
So you've got real 18-karat gold leafing pretty much through the whole apartment.
The walls are covered in fabric, and most of the doors are soundproof, running 3 inches thick.
This is also a beautiful room to entertain in.
The dining room faces west over the Hudson River.
The domed ceiling is really...
The controversy didn't end there. Trump originally claimed the penthouse was more than 30,000 square feet, but property records later revealed it was closer to 11,000.
Master Suite Wing has a large sleeping area facing Central Park.
We are going into one of the grandest bathrooms you've ever seen. This lapidus stone is done throughout the whole room. Can't you see yourself filling up that big hot tub with bubble baths in the bottom?
That exaggeration alone inflated his net worth by hundreds of millions on paper. For critics, it was proof that the Trump empire isn't just built on gold. It's built on smoke and mirrors.
You know, watching the sunsets?
Yes.
And within the suite, a secondary bedroom. And finally, a wing dedicated to the kitchen.
As you know, Jean-Georges is in the building.
Yeah.
So if you need a late-night hamburger from Jean-Georges or anything you want from Jean-Georges, they'll cater to you 24 hours a day.
To live large here, it will cost you $40 million.
Just bring your...
But for Trump, it didn't matter. The penthouse wasn't just a home. It was a stage set for the image he wanted the world to believe. Trump doesn't just live in gold, he flies in it too. His famous Boeing 757, dubbed Trump Force One, is fitted with gold seatbelt buckles, leather armchairs, and even a private bedroom with silk walls.
Hey Steve, have you heard the news?
No, what news?
Trump just unbanned supersonic travel over the US.
That's amazing, but there's no supersonic jets.
But what does this mean for the industry?
Well, there are a couple of different companies developing supersonic jets, both for corporate and the commercial world. I think now there's Boom, great name. They're supposed to be coming out with an airplane, I think, in the 2029-2030 period, and it's going to be a semi-commercial, but usable for corporate use. Of course, this opens the door for the more companies start developing the next stage of travel and speed. And you have supersonic, and eventually you go to hypersonic, and it makes you able to go anywhere in the world so much quicker. It's going to make business and travel much more efficient.
The jet was originally owned by Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen, before Trump bought it in the early 1990s. After extensive renovations, it became a flying palace.
First thing I do when I get on this aircraft is look around for details. I always study the details. Cleanliness, I go up to the pilot, see how everything's going. I like to look at the cockpit. I want everything to be absolutely perfect. So John, everything's good?
Everything's perfect, Mr. Trump.
All right, good.
Good.
Let's have a good flight.
All righty.
Thank you.
Even for this regular... During his 2016 presidential campaign, the plane turned into a traveling advertisement for Trump's brand, landing at rallies to roaring crowds, with his name painted boldly on the fuselage. But that's not his only ride. Trump has a fleet of smaller jets and Sikorsky helicopters, all painted black and white with gold trim.
Integrity has tremendous amounts of money at stake in terms of the maintenance, in terms of taking care of the plane, in terms of the quality of the plane itself. So John Duncan really epitomizes to me what that's all about.
All right, we're ready to taxi.
That's what Mr. Trump has hired me for, is not only to fly the airplane, but also to make sure that all of that planning is done correctly and to make sure that everything is in place before we depart.
They're on the right, John.
Rumors once swirled that he was eyeing a Boeing Dreamliner, one of the largest passenger jets in the world, but the plan quietly faded. Some believe he abandoned the idea when debts piled up. Still, even without the Dreamliner, his current fleet is more than enough to cement his image as a man who refuses to fly like anyone else. Mar-a-Lago may be Trump's crown jewel, but it's far from his only property in Florida. Over the years, he quietly bought up multiple mansions surrounding the estate. Some were snapped up through limited liability companies with names that concealed the true buyer. Locals began to notice the pattern. Whenever a high-end property near Mar-a-Lago went up for sale, Trump's network was often involved. One particular mansion he purchased for $8 million in 2008 was later flipped for nearly $100 million after being sold to a Russian billionaire, a deal that raised eyebrows around the world. Critics wondered if the sale was less about real estate and more about moving money. Trump denied any wrongdoing, but the timing, the buyer, and the profit margin kept the speculation alive. What's undeniable is that by controlling property around Mar-a-Lago, Trump expanded not just his footprint, but his influence. Palm Beach isn't just where he lives. It's where he quietly tightened his grip on some of the most valuable coastal real estate in America. When most billionaires buy yachts, Trump bought golf courses. Today, his empire includes more than 17 clubs spread across the US, Scotland, and Ireland. Each course comes with a lavish clubhouse, fine dining, and membership fees that can climb into the hundreds of thousands.
A place where people can come and enjoy life, and it's very special. So I hope everybody in Scotland and well beyond Scotland enjoys it for many, many years to come. Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Many of these purchases came during the financial crisis of 2008, when luxury resorts were bleeding money. Trump swooped in, buying them at bargain prices and rebranding them as Trump properties. He poured millions into renovations, making sure every detail reflected his obsession with gold and grandeur. But not all the courses were money machines. His Scottish properties, including the controversial Trump International Golf Links, faced backlash from locals who accused him of destroying natural landscapes. Environmental groups fought his projects for years, while local councils questioned the promises of economic growth. Still, Trump persisted, often bragging that his courses were the best in the world. Whether profitable or not, they served his bigger goal, putting the Trump brand in places where power and prestige mattered most. While Trump's brand is deeply tied to New York and Florida, his foray into California revealed just how savvy and secretive his real estate moves could be. In Beverly Hills, he once owned a mansion just minutes from Rodeo Drive, bought for $7 million. A few years later, he sold it for nearly double the price. On paper, it was just a successful real estate flip. But when journalists dug deeper, they uncovered a trail of offshore companies and unusual ownership transfers linked to the sale. Some suggested the deals hinted at larger financial maneuvers, possibly involving wealthy international buyers. For Trump, California wasn't about planting roots. It was about timing the market and cashing in. These properties may no longer be in his portfolio, but the profits from their sales helped fuel the myth of Trump as a master dealmaker, even if the fine print told a different story. Beyond Beverly Hills, Trump also dipped into other prime California locations, including Palos Verdes and West Hollywood. Several of these acquisitions flew under the radar, often held for only a short period, before being flipped for hefty gains. In some cases, local agents claimed the properties were barely used, functioning more like chips in a larger investment game than actual residences. This added to the mystery. Were these quick buys and sells simply smart timing, or part of a bigger strategy to shuffle money through high-value California real estate? Whatever the motive, the pattern reinforced Trump's reputation for turning properties into profit, while keeping the true scale of his operations hidden from public view. Around the world, the Trump name towers over skylines in places like Istanbul, Manila, and Mumbai. But here's the catch. Trump doesn't actually own most of these skyscrapers. Instead, he licenses his name to developers, letting them plaster Trump in gold letters across buildings he has no equity in. The strategy worked brilliantly for branding, making it appear as if he controlled a global empire of luxury towers. But behind the glitz were contracts that sometimes tied him to politically sensitive regions. In Turkey, his business links sparked controversy when he became president, raising questions about conflicts of interest. In the Philippines, his partnership was linked to a powerful political family. Critics argued these deals blurred the lines between business and geopolitics. Supporters saw them as proof of Trump's genius for turning his name into an asset worth hundreds of millions. Either way, the towers overseas show how Trump expanded his empire not through ownership, but through branding that blurred reality and illusion. No topic fires up Trump more than the question of how much he's really worth. He insists his fortune tops $10 billion. Independent investigations slash that number by half, some even less. The truth is complicated. Trump's habit of inflating property sizes and values, combined with his mountain of debts, makes his net worth a moving target.
Here's the question I have for you. What is your net worth? Why don't you tell us right now?
I will save it, but I will tell you this.
You're going to save your net worth, or you're going to save the state?
Excuse me, Elliot. Excuse me. My net worth, according to Forbes, is $2.7 billion.
Right.
I will tell you this. It is substantially in excess of that. When I say substantially, much, much more. They don't have access to my books. They don't have access to my records. In all fairness, I think Forbes is a great magazine, but they don't have access to the kind of things that you need.
We agree that you as a private company can hold all this private. No question about that. Yes, sir. Finish up.
I'm private, right? I'm private.
Forbes estimates put his wealth in the range of $2.5 to $3 billion. Bloomberg suggests it could be even lower. What's certain is that Trump often treats his brand value, the perceived worth of his name, as equal to cash in the bank. That means his personal estimate of his net worth can swing wildly, depending on how confident he feels about his brand at any given moment. Even so, Trump remains one of the most recognizable real estate moguls in history. His empire may not be as big as he claims, but few have used perception, spectacle, and showmanship as effectively as he has. From gold-plated penthouses in New York to private jets in the sky, hidden mansions in Florida, and controversial towers across the globe, Donald Trump's lifestyle is built on a mix of real wealth and carefully crafted illusion. Some of his fortune is undeniable. Some of it is smoke and mirrors. But together, it has created one of the most powerful personal brands the world has ever seen. So the question remains, is Trump's empire proof of true billionaire genius? Or is it the greatest real estate magic trick ever pulled off? Either way, one thing is certain. When it comes to Donald Trump, the line between reality and spectacle is almost impossible to see.